Hello students, today we are going to start the new topic of our syllabus, the current electricity, that is nothing but a potentiometer. As this potentiometer is one of the instrument in an electronic devices or electrical devices where it is used as a voltmeter. Basically we have the instrument voltmeter to measure the potential difference between the 2 points. We can measure it by using voltmeter. But potentiometer is an instrument which can measure the potential difference between the 2 points, as well as we can find out EMF of any cell by using this. And for ideal voltmeter, its input resistance should be infinite. But practically it is seen that it is very difficult to get a voltmeter whose input resistance is infinite. That's why this potentiometer is an work as an ideal voltmeter, because it has very large input resistance. That's why we can say it is an ideal voltmeter to measure the potential difference, as well as EMF of any cell or battery can be measured by using this. Let's start with the principle of working of this. So first of all, let us consider this is a wire AB. So just I have made here the 4 sections of this wire. This one section is 100 meter. So suppose 100 centimeter. One section is 100 centimeter, 1 meter. Then it becomes 2 meter, 3 meter, 4 meter. The wire of potentiometer may be varies from 1 meter to 10 meter in length. So let us consider wire A to this part and to the B, the potentiometer wire, across which the positive of the EMF or battery E, positive of the battery E is connected to terminal A, negative of the battery E is connected to terminal B, and this small r is suppose internal resistance of the cell. This small r itself is the internal resistance of the cell. Apart from this, this wire has its own resistance, suppose that is R. Wire has its own resistance, that is nothing but a R. Now we know that current flowing to the wire we can find out. E is the voltage applied, R and this R are the resistance of wire, internal resistance of the wire. So according to Ohm's law, we know V equal to IR. So this implies that I equal to V by R. In our case, what is voltage applied? It is E. EMF applied is E. Use the voltage. R means what? Capital R plus small r, total resistance. Internal resistance of the cell plus the resistance of the wire itself. So this E divided by R plus R. So this is nothing but a current flowing to the wire AB. This gives the current flowing to the wire AB. Suppose I want to find out voltage across the point A and B. So that can be represented as V suffix AB. Voltage across the point A and B equal to current into resistance. Okay. So just you can write, put the value of I here. You can write this as E divided by R plus R into this E divided by R plus R is current into R. So this we get here the equation ER divided by R plus R. That will give the voltage across the point A and B. Okay, is that clear? We get voltage across the point A and B. Suppose I have divided both sides by the total length of this. Total length of the wire is suppose capital L. So capital L is a total length. Then you can represent this VAB, voltage across the wire AB, divided by length of the wire AB. Voltage across the wire AB divided by length of the wire AB equal to E into R divided by R plus R into capital L. Divide both sides by capital L, total length. Now in this condition, this is said to be potential difference per unit length of the wire AB, and is equal to, suppose this E is constant, this voltage applied is constant, then it is seen that R resistance of wire constant, L length of wire constant, resistance constant, internal resistance of the cell is again constant for that particular cell. So all the parameters are constant. So we can say that voltage per unit length across the wire is constant. And this concept we have to use. Voltage per unit length of wire is always constant. And this voltage per unit length is constant, and it is said to be potential gradient. Potential gradient means what? How the potential or voltage gets changed with the length, that was measured by using this, that is said to be potential gradient. So it's very simple to understand. Now from this, suppose I have taken another point C here somewhere. from A to C whose length is small l. Then you can write the same way, just apply this law and we can write voltage across the wire AC. Initially we have find for AB because these are two end points. Now the points are A and C is equal to K into L. Suppose. What is K? Potential gradient. It is always constant if the wire is uniform cross sectional. So K into L. So this implies that voltage across the wire AC length is directly proportional to its length. And this is the concept of working of potentiometer across any part of the wire. If you want to know the voltage across that voltage drop is directly proportional to length of that wire. If you take total wire AB, its length is what? Capital L. If you take this much length of wire AC, small l, voltage drop is directly proportional to small l. And this is a basic concept of working of potentiometer. So potentiometer work on this principle. Voltage drop across any length of the wire is found to be directly proportional to length of that wire across which we are going to find out the voltage. So this is the part that I have mentioned in your book, that is said to be basic concept of working of potentiometer. Now let's go to the next part. Next part is what? That they have taken 9.4.2 use of potentiometer. How can we use a potentiometer? That we have to consider. To consider this use of potentiometer, what they have done in your book, there are different application of potentiometer. Let's start with the first one. First application of potentiometer, comparison of EMF of the cell. Comparison of EMF of the cell. Suppose we have the two cells, E1 and E2. That two cells we want to compare. Which one is greater, which one is smaller. That we want to find out. We want to compare the two cells. And for that, this AB is the length of the wire. And that is said to be potentiometer. Such that connected to the battery, positive of the battery connected to A, negative of battery connected to B via key and rheostat. So this is simple construction. Apart from this, just precaution must be taken that at the point A, where positive of the battery comes, here the positive of cell E1 and E2 must come. See, positive comes together at the point A. All positive comes at the point A. What about the negative of the cells E1 and E2? They are connected to key K1 and K2 and their common terminal given to galvanometer, and a galvanometer another terminal given to the jockey. That metal conductor, you can touch it on the wire. So just touch it on the wire, that is jockeys. So this is nothing but a construction of the comparison of two cells, EMF of two cells by using potentiometer. Now let's start. What will occur? Working. Let's go to the working. Suppose we have closed the key K. K is closed. The key K is closed. Then after that, close the key K1. Just keep it open. Close the key K1. It is seen that as this K1 is closed, battery E1 is in circuit. The battery E1 is in circuit. So just find out, just turn the jockey at different point, find out this as suppose D. Point D on potentiometer wire, such that for this point D, the galvanometer shows a zero deflection. It is said to be null point. Then measure the length A to D. Measure the length A to D and suppose that is L1. Suppose measure the length A to D, suppose that is L1, where potentiometer shows zero deflection. Now whatever be the potential drop across the length of wire AD is due to what? Cell E1. Because it is connected in the circuit, you can write equation E1 equal to K into L1. Because only first cell is connected in the circuit. Similarly, now kept K1 open, connect key to K2. K1 kept open, key K1 kept open, K2 connected. What will occur? E2 is in the circuit now. Again find out a null point somewhere here. Suppose it is D dash, where galvanometer shows zero deflection, and this is voltage drop across the wire AD dash is due to E2. So you can write equation E2 equal to K into L2. Divide this equation 1 by equation 2. What we get? E1 divided by E2 equal to L1 divided by L2. And by this formula, knowing the length L1, L2, and if you know any one of the cell, you can find out the value of another cell. Suppose we know the value of E2, we want to find E1. What we can say? This implies that E1 equal to E2 into L1 by L2. We know L1 by L2, you know the E2 also, you can find the value of E1. Similarly, you can find the value of E2 and you can compare whether E1 is larger in magnitude or E2 is larger in magnitude. That can be compared. That is the comparison of EMF of two cell. By this method is the first method to compare the cell. Now in this case, what we have done, initially K1 is closed, only one cell is connected at a time. Only one cell is connected at a time. By closing the K1, we have connected the cell E1. By closing the K2, we have connected the cell E2. So at one time, we have connected one cell only. That's why this is said to be individual method, or sometime it is said to be separate method. Connect E1 first separately, just E2 is absent. Then connect E2 secondly, E1 is absent. So this is said to be individual method or separate method in which two cells EMF can be compared together. Now let's go further. Second application of this, that is again, second application is again for the first application we have seen to compare the EMF of the cell, or it is said to be separate method or individual method. Second part of the same application to compare the EMF of two cell, that can be done by different way little bit, and that is nothing but what? Sum and difference method. So this is suppose 1A, now the B. Comparison of EMF of two cell by sum and difference method. What is sum and difference method? If the two cells are connected such that negative of the first is connected to positive of the second. If the two cells are connected like this is positive, negative, positive, negative. The two cells are connected like this. The negative of the first is connected to positive of the second. So the negative of the first connected to positive of second. Suppose it is E1, suppose it is E2. Then this combination, suppose these are the point A and B, it is said to be sum configuration. Sum combination. Sum combination where the cells are connected in sum combination. So we can write down the voltage across AB is what? VAB equal to E1 plus E2 plus E2, sum combination. So total resultant voltage get added. If you have the torch, in some torch the two cells are required, two batteries are required. One battery has a voltage of 1.5 volt. So when we combine them in series, what we get? 1.5 plus 1.5, 3 volt. Same way. E1 plus E2, that is resultant voltage. Suppose this is 1.5, this is 1.5, it becomes 1.5 plus 1.5, 3 volt. So that is said to be sum combination. And the another one, that is said to be difference combination. So what they have done in difference combination? So this, in this case, E equal to AB equal to E1 plus E2. Let's start with second combination. That is when positive of both come to one side and negative of both come connected together like this. This negative of the first connected to negative of second, positive combined together. So this is the positive A, this is again the positive B. Or this is negative, this is negative. Both are negative or both are positive. Then in that case, this is plus, minus, minus, plus. This is said to be difference method. Difference method. What get occurred in this? Suppose it is E1, it is E2, resultant voltage across point AB equal to what? E1 minus E2. Here there is one condition, E1 must be greater than E2. Otherwise it is a negative. That's why E1 must be greater than E2. And here there is a difference. That's why it is said to be difference combination. Sum combination, difference combination. That's why this is said to be use of sum and difference combination to compare the EMF of two cell. Sum and difference method. Okay. Initially individual method we have taken, separate method. Here combination. Either the voltage get increase, sum, or decrease, difference. Okay. So what we have to do? Same thing. Here instead of E1 plus E2 you have to connect. Suppose E1 plus E2. And this is E1 minus E2. Again the two keys. In your book they have taken a little bit complicated manner. Just I will make it very simple. Okay. So see, initially E1, E2 are there. Now what we have done? Sum method and difference method. So this is E1 plus E2. This is E1 minus E2. Just hold this combination and put it here. Hold the sum combination. Just hold it and put it here. So plus minus like this, two cells in series. So resultant comes here E1 plus E2. E1 minus E2, put it here. So I have shown here one cell, actually they are two. Some combination like this and the difference combination like this. So in this situation, let's start to derive the equation and how we can just compare the cell, that we have to see. Initially, again as we have seen simple case, initially close the key K1, K2 is kept open, some current get passed to the wire. It is seen that K and K1 get closed, some current get passed across the wire. Whatever the voltage drop across the wire, that is the due to some combination E1 plus E2, then you can write equation E1 plus E2 equal to K into L1 suppose. K into L1 suppose, just make it sure it is, yes, small L1. Okay, suppose it is equation 1. Now just close the key, open the key K1, close the key K2. When K2 is closed, what get occur? The difference combination of cell is connected. Again find out null point D dash, and for that length is suppose L2. Just measure it, you can write E1 minus E2 equal to K into L2, equation 2. Just divide equation 1 by 2, you can get here E1 plus E2 divide by E1 minus E2 equal to L1 divided by L2. This equation implies that E1 divided by E2, E1 divided by E2 equal to L1 plus L2 divided by L1 minus L2. And this is the final equation we get. That is nothing but a comparison of two cells. So E1 by E2 equal to L1 plus L2 divided by L1 minus L2. Now once you know the E1 or E2, any one of them, and this lengths L1, L2 are known, well known to you, you can find out unknown cell EMF, and then we can compare which cell is greater or smaller, the comparison. Now the question comes, from this equation how we get this one? Those who have mathematics, they are well known about. There is one method in mathematics, componendo and dividendo. That method we have to use here, we get this. Those who don't have mathematics, don't worry, it is very simple. Try to ask the friends who has the mathematics, just add numerator with the denominator, E1 plus E2 plus E1 minus E2, divide by E1 minus E2 plus E1 plus E2. Do it the same here, L1 plus L2 divided by L1 minus L2. This common term cancel that, you get E1 by E2 equal to L1 plus L2 divided by L1 minus L2. That much simple the method is. So this is a first application of potentiometer is nothing but to compare the EMF of the two cells by separate method that we have finished. Separately E1 or E2 we have used. In this case, again this is the same application but by sum and difference combination. So it is sum and difference method to compare the EMF of two cells. So in this fashion, the cells can be compared together. Now let's go to next application of this, to find internal resistance of a cell. How to find internal resistance? Hello students, let's start with a second application of potentiometer, that is to find internal resistance of a given cell. Suppose this is diagram for that. Suppose you have given one cell E1 whose internal resistance is small r, and this r we want to find out in this case. How to find out internal resistance of any cell by using potentiometer? So connect it like this is potentiometer wire AB. Again these common things, the battery eliminator, key K1 and rheostat are connected in series with the wire AB. Then the positive end of A, the positive terminal of battery E1 whose internal resistance is to be determined is connected to A. Negative is given to the common terminal here, and along with this parallel combination another key K2 and variable resistance R, whose resistance we can change, that is variable resistors. They are connected parallel to the cell and it is connected commonly to galvanometer. Other terminal of galvanometer is connected to jockey, so that we can slide the jockey on the wire of potentiometer and find the null point. That is only the difference. Now let's suppose initially K1 is closed, key K1 is closed. What will occur? K2 kept open, K1 is closed, E1 is in circuit. Turn the jockey at different point and find out null point D, and for which the length is suppose L1, length AD is suppose L1, for which we have find out null point when K2 is open and K1 is closed. So that is what voltage drop across a wire AD is due to the cell E1. You can write as we know E1 equal to K into L1. Simple thing that K is nothing but what? The potential gradient. E1 equal to K into L1. Now what will occur? Next one, suppose this equation 1. Now close the key K2 also. Close K1 and K2 at a time. Take some resistance from resistance box. This resistance, remove some resistance from resistance box. Known value of resistance, remove it and touch the jockey at different point and find out the voltage. That is deflection of galvanometer must be 0 at certain point. Suppose that point is somewhere here. It is D dash. Length is suppose L2. Then you can write here one equation. The voltage drop across AD dash is suppose V. Voltage drop across AD dash is equal to suppose V and the length is L2. It is K into L2. That is equation 2. Divide equation 1 by 2. What we get? E1 divide by V equal to L1 divide by L2. Equation 3 suppose. So these three equations we have derived. E1 by V equal to L1 by L2. The first equation by closing key K1 only. Second equation by closing both the keys K1 and K2. Voltage drop across AD dash is V equal to K into L2. Divide 1 by 2. We get this equation. Further, now you can find the value of E1 here as E1. We have to find the value of E1. E1 is what? When E1 is applied, suppose due to this E1, some current I is flowing like this. It comes here. Some positive to negative current flows. Now, so it comes here. Suppose it is I. So this I goes here, again comes here I. So what is the E1 equal to? I into R plus I into small r. So here it is E1 equal to I into R plus I into small r. We get that equation. E1 we have find out. R, this variable resistance, small r, internal resistance. We can write this equation. V equal to IR. So E equal to IR plus IR. Two resistances are here. That's why the two terms comes. Okay. Otherwise single term will come. So that is nothing but what we have find the value of E1. Now we know according to Ohm's law, what is V equal to? It is simply IR. V equal to IR. Now suppose this equation 4, this is equation 5. Divide equation 4 by 5. So what we get? E1 divide by V. This one left hand side equal to what? I common R plus small r divide by I into R. Just I have taken I from this common. Now what get occurred? This I get cancelled with this I. Okay. So what we get? R plus R divided by R. But from equation 3, E1 by V is what? L1 by L2. So you can put this as equal to L1 divided by L2. Further solve these two terms. You can write R divided by R is 1 plus small r by capital R equal to L1 by L2. Small r divided by capital R equal to L1 by L2. Move this one to that side, it become minus 1. Okay, L1 by L2 minus 1. And multiply this R here. You get small r equal to capital R in the bracket L1 by L2 minus 1. And this will give the value of small r. And small r is nothing but what? Internal resistance of the cell E1 that we want to determine small r. Once you know the value of L1, L2 and we know how much resistance we have removed here, just all that values are known, you can find out internal resistance of any cell can be find out easily here. So in this fashion, we have seen the three applications basically of potentiometer. First, separate method, individual method to compare the EMF of two cells. Second, sum and combination method, sum and difference method. Sometimes it is said to be combination method. Some combination and different combination method to compare the EMF of two cells. And third one, to find the internal resistance of the cell. Apart from this, there are some applications again. What are the applications again? Just you have seen on page number 223 of your book. Just they have taken first voltage divider. This potentiometer wire itself can be work as a voltage divider. As we know, as the length of potentiometer wire gets changed, voltage drop across it change. Means what? As length get increases, voltage across the length get increases. Length get decrease, voltage drop get decrease, and that concept is used to measure the voltage divider. The first application, let's write down. So plus minus it is nothing but resistance. This is the wire whose name is suppose AB. AB is the wire. Okay. Now here it is battery eliminator E plus minus. This is R. Wire AB is there, whose total length, this total length of the wire AB is capital L. Okay. Now suppose what I have done, I have taken some voltmeter and I have connected it here. In your book they have used a device. Okay, this device, in our case suppose it is voltmeter. One terminal of voltmeter is connected to point A. Second terminal is suppose connected here. It will show some voltage between these 2 points. Suppose this is a point B. Sorry, B is here. Suppose it is C. So AC is the length of the wire, and voltage drop across this is directly proportional to it. So it is suppose L1. So it is directly proportional to L1, and that will give the different voltage. And apart from this, if you go further, just connect it here. Then what we get? The second value of voltage, that is other than this, because the length gets changed to L2. So that means what? In the same fashion, what will occur? As we touch this voltmeter here, voltage get increases. Why? Because length get increase. If you come back, voltage get decreases because length get decrease. And principle on which potentiometer work is what? The voltage drop across any part of the wire directly proportional to length of the wire. That's why this arrangement is said to be voltage divider. Total voltage can be divided into 2 segments here. In same way, it can be divided into 5 segment, 10 segment, and so on. And that is one of the first application of potentiometer. Another first application, voltage divider. Second one is what? Audio control. What is audio control? That we have to see. So might be all of you are well known about radio transistors. In that radio transistor, so there is audio control. So what is audio control? Might be all of you learn. In audio control means what? In our sound system also, there are some knobs. When we move that knobs, the voice get increase. Just rotate it clockwise, voice get increase. Rotate it anti-clockwise, voice get decrease. What does it means? As we are rotating the knob, the voice get increase or decrease. Means what? It is audio control. It is audio control, and that audio control, in that audio control, we can use a potentiometer by just changing the distance. Suppose A and the voltmeter connected at different point, length get increase, length get decrease. Length get increase, voltage increases, voice increases. Length get decrease, voltage decreases, voice get decreases. That is nothing but audio control using radio transistors. Third one, potentiometer as a sensor. So what is a sensor means? Sensor. So as we have seen, as suppose this is wire AB, it is seen that suppose we are here at a point C, it is D, it is E, it is F. Okay. So when we are at A it is 0 volt. C, some smaller value of voltage. D, voltage increases. E, again voltage increases, length increases na, from A to F, again increases. A to B, voltage is maximum. So suppose there is a mechanical part which is moving like this. The mechanical part moving on this wire. Then what get occurred? When that mechanical part is at B, maximum voltage. When it is at C or A, 0 voltage. C, small voltage. So these things, this mechanical movement of any part can be sensed in terms of change in voltage, and that is said to be sensor. Potentiometer as a sensor. Let's go next and the last topic of this particular point, that is the application of potentiometer. We have seen advantages of potentiometer over voltmeter. What are the advantages of potentiometer over voltmeter that we have to learn here? So the first one, just I will read it. If I think something is there to explain, I will tell you. The first, potentiometer is more sensitive than voltmeter. See, potentiometer is more sensitive as compared to voltmeter. That is first application over a voltmeter. Second, potentiometer can be used to measure potential difference, means voltage, as well as EMF. But voltmeter cannot be used to measure the EMF. It can measure terminal potential difference only. That is a big thing, big difference between potentiometer and voltmeter. Third one, measurement of potential difference and EMF is very accurate by using potentiometer, while it is not that much accurate for voltmeter. And up to 10⁻⁻⁶ volt we can measure it. A very small potential difference of the order of 10⁻⁻⁶ volt means microvolt can be measured by using potentiometer, but that is not possible with a voltmeter. Apart from this, there is one demerit of this. It is quite lengthy to carry the potentiometer. As we know, the one part of the length is 1 meter, 100 centimeter it is. So 4 parts are there. So it is very bulky. It is not portable. Potentiometer is good, but it is not portable. That is first demerits, drawback. Second drawback, voltmeter gives direct reading. 20 volt, 30 volt, pointer shows the value. But in this case, we have to do some calculation. In case of potentiometer, we have to do some calculation. That's why these are the two demerits of potentiometer over a voltmeter and 3 advantages of potentiometer over the voltmeter. In next period, we will start the new topic of the same chapter, galvanometer. So just read the video and remember, again I am going to tell you, don't watch the last video. Start from first for that chapter at least. So when you are going to learn about current electricity, see the first video, then go for second, then go for third, like this. Don't jump directly to third. Then lot of problems get created in that case, because basic concept would be in first video. So I hope you understand whatever I have taught you today and prepare yourself well. Watch the video, then read the same topic. Thank you.